I didn't expect a knock on my door to shift the ground beneath me. It was an ordinary Thursday morning. Quiet, a little too still. I had just swept the back porch and was deciding between a cup of tea or finally tackling the neglected craft closet when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, there stood Daniel, my best friend Clara's younger brother, 19, that in-between age where you're legally an adult, but still figuring out how to be one. I hadn't seen him since Thanksgiving, back when he was all limbs, shaggy hair and teenage awkwardness. Now he looked different, taller, shoulders straighter. His hair was trimmed, and he carried a calmness that surprised me. He smiled, nervous, warm. "Hi, Evelyn. I hope this isn't weird," he said. Clara said, "You might be able to help." "Help with what, honey?" I asked. He held up a worn manila folder. "I'm applying to community college. They want a personal essay, and I'm awful at writing." "Clara told me you used to teach." I chuckled. "Still do sometimes. Come in." "Let's take a look." We sat at the kitchen table. I poured him lemonade, and he passed me the folder. Inside were scattered thoughts, paragraphs, fragments. But the core was clear. It was about his mom who passed last year and the ache he carried with him still. "I don't know how to start," he admitted. His voice was quiet. "It just hurts too much." I felt it, his grief raw and unresolved. But I also felt the story inside him, waiting to be told. "You're going to write this," I told him gently. "But I'll help you find the right voice." He exhaled, his shoulders relaxing. "That's all I need, Dot." We spent hours at that table. I asked him about memories. What made him feel closest to her? The spaghetti she always ruined but insisted on making every birthday. The way she'd hung folding laundry. How she'd rub his back when he couldn't sleep. Even when he towered over her, his face would flicker between laughter and near tears, and I just listened. It had been so long since someone needed me like that. Not for errands or favors, but for presence, for understanding. For the part of me I thought had quietly faded with age. By evening, we had an outline. And he had something else, too, competence. He looked up from his notes with a softness in his eyes. "You're really good at this," he said. "But it's not just that. You listen." And there was something in the way he said it. Not just gratitude, something warmer. The next afternoon, he came back with a new notebook and that same nervous smile. I had baked banana bread, a habit from my teaching days. "You didn't have to bake," he said. "I know, but sometimes warm words need warm bread." We sat under the old trellis in my garden, beneath the fairy lights that hadn't worked in years, but still hung quietly hopeful. He wrote. He wrote with his heart open. I guided him gently. At one point, his voice faltered, reading a passage aloud. "Sorry," he muttered. "Don't be..." Real writing stings sometimes. He looked at me differently then. "You're not like other adults. You don't treat me like a kid. Maybe because I don't feel like a grown-up half." The time, he laughed and silence settled. Comfortable, whole. When he finished the essay, it was stunning. I told him so, and he looked at me not as a student looks at a mentor, but as someone who had seen him through something deeply personal. "I needed you," he said. The next time he came. I was in the garden, knees dusty, hands deep in soil. He had the final draft in hand. We sat again under those lights, and when I finished reading, I was proud of him. "Of us. It's beautiful," I said. "You helped me find the words," he replied. "Before this, I didn't think I had anything worth saying. You just needed someone to listen." He met my eyes. "I needed you." That night, he asked me something I hadn't expected. "Do you ever feel like people stop seeing you after a certain age?" I paused, the words catching in my throat. "All the time," I admitted. "Like you disappear behind the wrinkles." "I see you, Evelyn," he said. And I believed him when he touched my wrist lightly, carefully. I felt it. Not attraction in the way people might assume, but connection, real, human, tender. And I didn't pull away. We didn't cross lines. But we acknowledged what was growing between us. He came again days later holding an envelope. I got in, he said. They said the essay was powerful. I hugged him. Then sitting on the couch, he looked at me with steady eyes. Evelyn, this wasn't just about an essay for me. I came here and found something I didn't know I was missing. I didn't expect this either. I whispered. He reached for my hand respectfully, slowly. I just want to know you, he said. To be near you. Not for anything more, just to stay close. So we sat, we talked, we repotted a plant. We laughed over spilled spices. Nothing dramatic. But everything changed. When he left that evening, he turned to me and said, I don't know what this is, but I know it matters. And I knew he was right. He had seen me, and in being seen, I saw myself again. Not invisible, not fading, but still here. Still capable of being needed, of being loved. And for now, that was enough.